Well, guess what, fam? We did it. Badwater 135 finisher. That was an absolute sufferfest out there from a standpoint of, it was crazy. I never felt hot at Badwater, which, if you're unfamiliar with, Badwater is running in Death Valley in the middle or end of July. In this case, it was the end of July. It was like 120 degrees Fahrenheit plus. Never felt hot once. Fueling, hydration, everything was on point. But man, my body was just not recovered from Western States, and I felt it like right off the bat. Dealt with so much negative thoughts and overcame those negative thoughts though, which is the most important thing. Dealt with sore legs at mile 10 just because of, again, not recovered from Western States. And it was the hardest thing that I've ever done from a mental and physical perspective, but we got it done, and that's what matters. And we're Badwater 135 finisher. I did a whole recap on the race, by the way, on my podcast. It is a 4-hour podcast recap where I go through all the details of the race, the whole thing from start to finish in terms of the whole shebang. And it was really, really hard, really, really tough. And I will tell you though, very worth it. Like, as crazy as the experience was, as painful as the experience was, as challenging as the experience was, after doing Western States a month before and then jumping into Badwater, it was one of the most fulfilling things that I've ever done. And I will tell you this, I'm sure that a lot of people watching this can relate. Like, when you do hard challenges like ultra marathons, or you do any hard challenge that you're unsure if you can even do, right? Because there was a part of me that was like, man, can we even do Badwater 135 a month after Western States? Especially at Western States, I went all out and destroyed myself, with good reason, obviously, to have the best race I possibly could. To turn it around so quickly and to do Badwater 135 was just a crazy thing, and I didn't even know if I could potentially do it, but we did, and we got it done, and that was really, really fulfilling. And I'm going to remember Badwater for the rest of my life, just in terms of how proud I am of myself to, be in a position where I can overcome, those low moments, because, man, I had so many negative thoughts. And by the way, the negative thoughts, if you ever have them in an ultra marathon, they happen when your body's on high alert, because the negative thoughts are there to try to get you to stop, because your brain is trying to keep you safe. And so when your body's at red, when your mind is at red, when your nervous system's on red, your body's and mind is going to throw negative thoughts at you to try to get you to stop. But it's up to you. It is always a choice to be able to choose what to do in response to those negative thoughts. And so out there, I just controlled the narrative and kept telling myself empowering things, kept reminding myself of how strong I was, and was able to keep moving forward despite my mind telling me to stop. And that's a really good distinction, because a lot of times when you have negative thoughts, you might think, wow, I suck, I'm a negative person, why am I beating myself up on this? But the reality is that's just the biology and the way that the mind works. But that is not you. What is you is how you respond to those thoughts. And out there, I chose to be strong. I chose to move forward strong and ended up get to that finish line. And I hope that sends a message to everybody that if you deal with negativity, if you deal with dark spots in an ultra marathon, you always have the choice to keep going, to keep being strong and get it done. And when you do that, you get something so freaking powerful that you're going to remember for the rest of your life, that will always be undeniable proof that you can get through any hard time or that you will ever face in your life, and not just ultra marathoning. So that's what I took away from Badwater. But this video is not just to recap Badwater. It's to talk about the aftermath of Badwater. And I need to get some butter to put on this bagel. So the aftermath of Badwater, and not even just the aftermath of Badwater, but also Western States. A lot of people ask me, like, man, what is the recovery been like? How's the body feeling? And I'm going to tell you one thing. It's been really rough. It's been really, really rough. After I finished Western States, that was like the race where I think I've gone the hardest at ever. And, I trashed my legs out there. I trashed my nervous system. I trashed everything. And every single run that I did, and it wasn't that much running, because I was really more focused on recovery. But every single run that I did between Western States and Badwater felt like crap. I just felt sluggish. I felt heavy. I felt like my effort wasn't matching the pace of where I wanted to be. And things just did not click. So I just knew off the bat I was going to go into Badwater not fully recovered. And I knew that was going to be the case all the time. But it was way lower than I kind of expected it to be. And that was really hard. And then obviously Badwater happened, and, my body was just like totally dead. And I think I just drove myself into such a deep hole. Every single day since Badwater, I felt like crap. Not physically, but like just energy-wise. Like I just feel like I have really low energy. Like I feel like a little bit more brain fog. Like feel like just like a little bit harder to concentrate. Like just not feeling good. Like when you just don't feel good? Like that's just kind of how I felt. And it's probably just like the severe mental toll, and not even just mental toll, but like physical toll of not only Badwater 135, which by the way, I did talk with Sally McRae out there, which by the way, she finished the race. She's incredible. I ran the last 4 miles with her. She's an amazing human being. But she told me before the race, because she has won the race before and done it now 4 times. And she told me, she was like, yeah, it takes a long time to recover from this race just because that heat just does so much impact onto your body, and I'm feeling it for sure. And so it's been a little bit of a struggle kind of coming back from it. I am slowly getting back into running, more from a standpoint of just like, I just want to be back out there, but I'm not pushing anything. Like if I wake up really bad on a day, I won't run. If the run doesn't feel very, very, very good, and by the way, none of the runs have felt good, but like if it feels bad, I will stop and honor my body. But we're just kind of getting slow back to it. So I'm going to kind of take you through a day of what I'm doing today, talk to you about how the recovery is going, talk to you about what I'm doing to manage it, talked about how I'm thinking about what's next, and we're going to go through that day. So what we're doing right now is I'm about to just go for an hour easy run max. Again, I'll cut it short if things aren't feeling that good, but gonna get out there and shake out the legs a bit. So carbon up, having the standard bagel with butter right before we get running. I'm gonna eat this, we're gonna get on some running clothes, and we're gonna get out there. But this whole video is dedicated to showing you what it's like after running Western States and Badwater all in 1 month, and how I'm approaching the recovery, and essentially how it feels like and how it's going. And yeah, just because I think people are curious about it. All right, I'm heading out on the run. Just taking it nice and easy. Again, about an hour or so. I might need to actually cut it a little bit short just due to time, because it's been super, super busy coming back, which probably hasn't helped with the recovery. But, when you run a business, sometimes you can't choose when times are busy and not busy. All good things, of course. We're just growing really, really fast, and obviously that requires me to show up. So this run might actually end up being more like 45 minutes, but guess what? We're recovering, not trying to push everything. But let's see how this goes. Let's get it done. Yeah, like every single run, just like right now, just my legs just feel so dead right off the jump. But, so goes it. So goes it after you run 135 miles followed by 100 miles a month before. So, yeah, let's see how this goes. Maybe they'll wake up, maybe not, but we're just taking it super, super easy right now. That's all there is to it. All right, I'm about 2 miles in. Average pace is 10 minutes per mile, and that's what I'm talking about. Usually my pace at this intensity is around 9, so got a whole minute up. But it is what it is. I've been debating and as long as you're not overly stressing out your body, you can still run a little bit in this off-season period that I'm taking. But if it starts to become counterproductive to the recovery, I might want to do a little bit less. So depending on how the runs go the next couple days, I don't know, might take a little bit more time off, maybe get a gravel bike, start biking. But all these runs that I've done, for context, I did my first run back on Sunday of this week, ran Monday, Tuesday, today's Wednesday, so ran every day since, and haven't felt better, haven't felt worse. But if I'm not improving, I don't know, I might just switch to biking for a little bit, take some extra time off, because you don't want to put yourself deeper into a hole. And I want to get back to a training block nice and healthy, and don't want to be exhausted. So yeah, we'll see how the rest of this run goes. But I just want to let y'all know that
not everyone you see online is going to be fresh and peppy after they do these races. Like, I'm destroyed. And also, I've never done 2 big races this close together, so this is new. Usually when you do something newer and bigger than you've done before, it'll take more time. So you just adjust and see how things go and stay positive about it. Don't beat yourself up, because you did a lot of work and you should be proud of it, and you don't want to overly put yourself in even deeper of a hole afterwards. So that's where we're at. Let's keep it going. All right, 45 minutes. Not feeling too great. 10 minutes per mile. It's fine, but yeah, just legs aren't firing, which is fine. We're not training for anything, but don't want to over push things in a hole, so we're cutting it. And then, for the rest of this video, I'm kind of this week I'm going through some tests, so doing some blood work, going to the cardiologist tomorrow to check out my heart. As you know, I had the AFib situation a few months back, and just doing what I can and thinking about what's next, which I'll talk about in this video, because I haven't really talked too much about it because I've been just doing a lot of thinking, but it's all the right mode. So anyways, gonna get on some work calls for the rest of the day, and then get some blood work done. We got a cardiologist tomorrow. We're gonna take you through the week. And yeah, I cannot close this gate for some odd reason. Oh, because this thing is like falling off. Let's close it. There we go. Can we do that? Nope. Oh, this is like how my brain's been going. Did that work? Nope, that did not work. Oh my God. Nope. All right, well, I'm gonna have to do this. I can't do this with one hand. So anyways, thanks for coming along with this crappy run with me. All right, so it is Tuesday, August 18th, so we had a time jump. The reason why we had a time jump is it was a pretty busy week. We actually just added and acquired a coaching company to the Everyday Ultra team, which has been awesome. So Rising Mountain Coaching, which is amazing. So we added a bunch of coaches and athletes to our team to expand what we're doing at Everyday Ultra. So that was incredibly busy. I don't know if I have my long hair. I think I did in the last video. So you might just see like this short hair and be like, what the heck happened? Anyways, though, also was at a wedding for my cousin-in-law, which was super, super fun in California. But now we are back here in Arizona. And what I'm doing is trying to position this camera on top here because I'm going to be doing some blood work while we're going through this, which is a very important part of it. So kind of an update on like the recovery and stuff. I've been running. I've been doing like no more than 6-7 miles at a time. It was really rough for several days. I just kind of kept going through the recovery protocols that I need to be going through. And, with that being said, things started to actually feel a little bit better. So the first run that actually felt pretty good was on Sunday. That was the first run since Badwater that actually felt like pretty good. In terms of just physically, I felt good. My pace was still lagging, which shows that I definitely have some recovery to go. But physically, like that one felt good. Like every other run just felt bad. Like my legs felt dead. My breathing was really, really hard. But this specific run, like the feeling wise, things felt pretty good. Pace is still like a little bit lagging, but that's neither here or there. But still shows that, we got some recovery to go and some time to go on that too. So anyways, all that being said though, I ran yesterday, which was Monday at night because I had a really busy day. That kind of felt like crap. And then today, this morning felt okay. Again, pace is still a little bit behind, which shows that there's some recovery. So I got some blood work done before Badwater. And what it showed was that I had really high estrogen and relatively low testosterone, which is, low testosterone is not an uncommon thing when it comes to ultramarathon athletes. But the high estrogen was really interesting. And so there was a little bit of imbalance onto there too. And then most of my other stuff was like pretty normal, which was kind of nice. So like iron and ferritin was pretty good. But I think it's very important for athletes to get blood work at least one time a year. Now, granted, and I'm not affiliated with them in any ways, like you might be wondering, what the hell are you doing on your arm right now? I'm warming it up because it suggests that you need to warm up your arm before you take the blood. But it's a subscription service called Rhythm where, you can get your blood tested every month and you just do it in the comfort of your home. It's super easy, painless. you'll see me go through the whole process here. But anyways, I'm just getting this here because, after doing these 2 big events, I want to make sure that things are in the right place. And I always tell athletes, like, if you are feeling like perpetual crap and, you're doing all the things recovery-wise to help you get into a good spot, you might need to get some blood work because something could be off. Sometimes I see with athletes, they have low iron or ferritin, low testosterone, maybe deficiencies in certain vitamins, minerals, things that, can lead to low energy or just not good recovery. So I usually suggest endurance athletes, if you're training really, really consistently and a lot, to get blood work, just because it can tell a story. Even if like you feel okay, you might feel better, essentially. You might feel better by working on some things under the hood that you can't see unless you get measured through some blood work. So that's what we're kind of doing here, kind of seeing where we're at. All right, now that we got this all warmed up here, I think we can be in a place where we can start this thing. So I'm just going through the instructions and I'm taking you all here with me. So, all right, clean area with alcohol pad. Clear with the alcohol pad so we can sterilize it. Remove the clear cover from the button. So here's the tool. It's actually really interesting. So I hate needles, man. I hate needles, and I have a tattoo, and I do not like needles. But this, it really is painless, which is kind of interesting. So let's see, peel tab away from device, stick device to arm. Well, let me let this alcohol just dry a little bit. Okay, and then press button all the way down once using 2 fingers until you hear a click. All right, let's go. Ready? This is gonna be painless, I think, hopefully. Last time it was. There we go. And then we just wait. So it may take 1 to 3 minutes. Last time this was really painless and easy. There we go. Boom. I didn't feel a thing. Again, not affiliated with this company. But anyways, as this blood is filling up. So I'm getting this blood work sent in. I also, few of the things that I've been doing. Sleep. Really prioritizing sleep. So usually, if I'm training through this time of year in the summer, I tend to wake up at 5 a.m., mostly just to beat the heat, essentially, and still get in a good amount of sleep. But I have been sleeping until 6 a.m. each day. So the reason for that is because I just want to get an hour extra of sleep. I'm only running for an hour, so it's not like I have to, it's not like an hour run in 90-degree temperatures, which is what it is around 7 a.m. when I start to get started, is really that bad. Yeah, sure, it's hot. I have to take it a little bit slower, but I'd rather have that hour extra sleep during the time of recovery. If my body is just feeling like absolute crap on the runs, I don't run, or I shouldn't say I don't run. I just cut the run short. And if there's been a situation where my body feels like really crappy in a day and I plan to run, I won't run. So last Friday, actually, we were traveling out to California for the wedding, and I didn't run because I just felt kind of not good with the travel and everything. So I just took that as an unplanned rest day, and I think that was a good move, especially in a time where you're not necessarily training. The other thing is just making sure that I'm getting in tons and tons of protein. I'm getting tons of protein in. And by the way, one of my favorite protein blends, which isn't over here. I will get that in a second, but my favorite is First Form Formula 1 Clear Protein, because it basically it's a lemonade flavor. So it mixes like a lemonade, which is super nice, especially when you come out from a hot run. So that's really good. And then making sure to get in a good amount of carbs as well too, because carbs can also help with recovery too. So making sure I'm getting in especially a lot of protein, more so to help with the legs, to help with the muscle recovery there. So that's the other thing I'm doing. I'm not going to go into too many more things yet because I need to make sure I'm not leaking blood all over the place. So gauze pad. When the tube is full, remove device by peeling from one side. There is no needle in you. Okay. There it is. Oh, geez. Okay. No spillage. All right. Now we need the cap, and then we ship it off to the lab. Sweet. Easy. Okay. And then we just put it in this nice shipping bag, drop it off at FedEx, and we are good to go. Okay. And then I should get my results in a few days. Anywho. So yeah, sleeping, eating, blood work. I think the other thing is making time for a little bit more, hobbies. And so I'll tell you this, I think one of the most interesting things during this phase is that, of course, right after Badwater, man, I was just dude, I don't want to run.
And then, of course, you start to see like the Instagram stories. You start to, get back into content. You start thinking about races, registration starts to open up, and you start to get the itch. And man, I will tell you, like, I definitely started to get the itch like this past weekend where I was like, man, I really want to be training for something. I want to get after it and everything. I think it can be a really dangerous game when you just like jump right into things when your body says, hey, we're not ready yet. And right now my body is saying, hey, we're not ready yet. And so I don't know if I've mentioned this on here yet, but I was supposed to do Javelina 100 in October, and I ended up actually pulling out of the race. The reason why I pulled out of the race is twofold. Number one, if I go back to Javelina, I want to go for a 100-mile PR, and I want to go for a PR out there. Knowing how my body has kind of responded after Badwater, and I also have like a lot of work travel kind of coming up. Like this weekend, we have a 50-mile free group run in Florida that I'm going to be out for. We're shooting content for a new Backyard Ultra. The week after that, we have a 6-hour event in Phoenix for a group run as well. Then we have our Everyday Ultra team weekend. So I like looked at all of the things that I need to do. Also, I'll be crewing my wife at Mammoth 200 during that time period. I looked at like all that work schedule. I looked at where I'm at now in terms of how I'm feeling and what I would need to do in order to get ready for Javelina to go for a PR. And I just had to look at that and be like, this probably isn't the ideal time. And so I ended up withdrawn from Javelina this year, and I got nothing on the corner for this year too. So I guess maybe before I go into that, like I do think into like the future and what I'm thinking for next. I think it can be really easy to feel that itch and wanting to get back into it way too quick. I know early in my ultra running career when I didn't really know much about anything, I did that way too often. Now that I have, the experience and the knowledge, like I know what it's like I know when you need to pull back and you need to take that time for recovery. But far too often I see athletes like jump into the next training block or jump into the next thing and they're not feeling super recovered. And that leads to a few different things. Number one, can lead to injury. It can lead to you injuring yourself. Number two, can lead to mental burnout. Right? Because even though you might be excited to go ahead and train for the next thing, you might be excited for the race, but you maybe need a little bit of a break from the day in and day out grind, especially like if it has felt like a grind towards the end of the training block. I think it's good to have a little bit of that mental break and you can avoid that mental burnout. And the third thing is like you can just avoid not putting yourself in the hole energy wise, right? Like you could basically train yourself so much, and if you have like super low testosterone, if you have super low iron and ferritin, you could just be driving your body like even deeper into a hole where you just feel like you just got no pop out there. And also too, like you might not be recovered enough to get the adaptations in training, right? In order to get adaptations in training, you need a good amount of recovery because it's the workouts itself that don't lead to the gains. It's the recovery that leads to the gains. The workouts cause the stimulus. They basically break down your muscles. They break down your aerobic system. And when you have recovery, in the recovery area is where the body makes the adaptations. So if your body is not 100% recovered, then you're not going to get the most out of your recovery in your training. And therefore, you're not going to make as much progress. And so if you do want to make progress in your training, sometimes going back into training really soon after an ultramarathon, if your body's giving you signals saying, hey, we're not there yet, can lead to a hindrance in your overall recovery. That's just something to kind of keep in mind with that too. And in terms of just like, don't jump back into it too quick. Right? Like for me, yes, I'm running, but I'm not training. Like I'm not doing hard workouts. I'm not doing long runs. Like I'm just kind of running because number one, I enjoy it. And number two, I do want to maintain some level of fitness, which by the way, I get the questions all the time. What do you need to maintain fitness? If you're running about 4 to 6 hours a week, super easy, you're throwing in strides once a week after your body's feeling good, you're going to maintain pretty much most of your fitness. You will lose a little bit of durability just because the volume be lower, but you can build that back. And also durability compounds. So like the longer that you race ultra marathons, the more your durability will compound over time. So something to keep in mind. But anyways, I'm just kind of in this maintenance mode, and I know if I went back into hard training right now, it just wouldn't be productive. So anyways, where I went on that really long tangent is one thing that I've been doing to help with that, because if you're just constantly thinking about running, you're constantly consuming running content, everything like that, like you are just going to feel anxious and you're going to feel like, I need to get back out there and blah, blah, blah. And like, A, that can lead you to like jump back in too quick. 2, it just sucks to feel like you're in this like perpetual state of FOMO. And 3, like I truly believe great ultra runners are well-rounded people. Yes, we love ultra running. Yes, it's a great hobby to have. Yes, it's a great thing in our lives that is amazing. But I think it's good to have well-roundedness, because if you put all your eggs in the basket into ultra running during times like, if you're in a recovery period, it's not going to be great, because like the only thing that you love to do is on
pause essentially for a little bit because you're letting yourself recover. So like for me, like one of my other hobbies is theme parks. And so next week I plan to go to a few theme parks. I actually make theme park content on a completely hidden social media account that I don't bring up to the public, not because I'm embarrassed by it, but just because I like to have that side of the internet on my own. But I like to do that. And so in my free time, like, usually during my training blocks, I'm spending at least 2 hours a day running, and then upwards of 3 to 4 hours a day training if I'm doing strength training or doubles or anything. And so I have a little bit more free time. And so in that free time, I've just been covering it with making some theme park content and planning a theme park trip and things like that, because, that is helping me to not only like get my mind off of running when it really wants to be there, but also, again, give me that well-roundedness on there too. And it also just makes you not feel as bad in the recovery process, right? Like, if you're taking a long time to recover like I am, like you might be like, man, like, God, like this sucks. Like, I feel like I'm just like not recovering and everything. And again, if that's like your only source of joy, then, you're tied to that, and that sucks. And so like for me, like on those days where, it's kind of sucked with the running, at least I can be like, hey, like, I got all this other stuff I can do, and that's fun and that's cool in the meantime. So that's something else I've been doing. Other thing is I've been taking some supplements because I'm partnered with First Form and they're amazing. So let me go through some of the supplements that I've been taking. Let's see. So I've already taken this today, so I won't retake it because I don't want to double dose on it. But basically, I take one of these packets every single day. Is the First Form Microfactor. And so basically, this has like a full stack of stuff that you need in there. It's got antioxidant, fruits and veggies, multivitamin, probiotic, CoQ10, essential fatty acid, all really essential stuff that helps out with just like overall health. And I think like if you take care of your health, which after an ultra marathon, like your body's just on high alert. If you take care of your health during that period, like you'll be in a position where, you can really bounce back a lot quicker. So that is something that I've been taking that's been really, really helpful. Another thing that I've been taking is, I've been taking a mix of it, but Formula One protein. So this is like the regular kind of stuff. And so if I need some extra protein throughout the day, I will use this just to get more protein through a protein shake or through overnight oats. So this is a really good one too. Let me show you that favorite one. Oh, I've also been crushing these. These are the amazing level 1 bars, protein bars from First Form. Oh my God. Cookies and cream, that protein bar is the best protein bar I've ever had, and I've had tons of protein bars. Let's go through some other stuff real quick too. So I've also been taking this every single day as well, OptiReds 50. And basically it's like a natural reds superfood, and a lot of this has a lot of good benefits when it comes to heart health. And as you know, I've had a heart scare in the past, which by the way, I was supposed to get an ultrasound last week and I didn't because, by the way, so dumb. I scheduled an appointment for 2 p.m. I was in the lobby at 2:45 and they still haven't got me in, and I had a work appointment that I needed to be at, a team meeting, by the way, like to go through all my team and discuss like big updates and everything we had. And I was like, hey, I need to get out of here. And they were like, oh, sorry. So they actually rescheduled it for today. Getting that checked out. Anyways, that's something that I take as well. Full mega. So there was an essential fatty acid tablet in the Microfactor, but this is also like basically that same thing. And I take an extra one of these because the general serving size is 2 soft gels. So I do take one of these too. I've been taking this multi-fiber as well, which is really great. So taking a lot of stuff, but this is the holy grail. This is the one that I was telling that's like really good. The Formula One Clear Protein Lemonade. Oh my God. So it's protein, but it mixes like a juice. It's absolutely incredible. And I've been crushing at least one of those every single day. So good. So, by the way, if you want any of these too, by the way, I have a supplement sheet that I'll have Christian link into the show notes. And you can order all these supplements from there, and then you can see which ones work for you. But I do think supplementation has personally helped me to feel a lot better during this time frame as well too. So that's something that's been really, really helpful. The other thing is like hydration. Like, I mean, hydration is like so important. I mean, I think we talk so much about nutrition and everything, but like making sure you're well hydrated is very, very important. And by the way, like, we were on a group coaching call last night with our athletes, and one of them asked me, they're like, how much water should we be drinking a day? Like, to be honest, as long as you're drinking water where like you're peeing pretty normally and the pee is a light yellow, you're good. And by the way, you're gonna sweat more on some days than others, so always kind of just something to keep in mind in there, because like you don't, like on a day that you sweat more, you're probably gonna need to drink more water, and a day that you sweat less, you'll need to drink less water. So that's kind of the metric and gauge that I use on too. And then I just kind of move around a little bit each day. So one thing I really like to do is
go on walks throughout the day with my dog, which is really good. And then sometimes throughout the day, if I'm like my hips are feeling like really, really tight, what I do is I sit on this thing called the squat seat, which is like this little thing here. And basically what it does is it opens up your hips without it being like super stressful. Yeah, sometimes like I'll bring my computer even down to this chair, like right here, and I'll just like sit and type. But sitting on this for like 10 to 15 minutes just helps the hips to open up a little bit more, especially since my legs have been a little bit wrecked on there too. So anyways, we'll sit on here if it's not weird. But anyways, a lot of people have been asking me like, what's next? As much as I really want to get back to training, I do think I need some extended time off from hard training. I'll still be running. I'm gonna run as much as this 50-mile group run that we have this weekend. It'll be easy. It'll be, just out there, chill, everything. Obviously, if something bad happens, I'm gonna pull out, of course. But I do want to be there for the community and everything, which would be super, super exciting. And I'm going to try to run, at least be there for all of it so I can like be a part of the group and everything. We have people, other coaches in there who are doing the whole thing. So it'll be out there. Is it the smartest thing for recovery? No, but I'm not training for anything. And I understand that, and I will be very, very safe if any risks come up with that for sure. But all that being said, I think like the biggest focus when it comes to running is going to be maintenance. It's going to be around running to be a part of the community events that we have at Everyday Ultra, because that's like a really, really important thing for me. And then just making sure that like I don't put a timeline on the recovery. That's why I think if I do a race, like a really big A race, the next race won't be until February. And the race that I'm currently signed up for is actually one of our own Everyday Ultra races, the Everyday Ultra Endure Better Backyard Ultra. Yes, that is right, folks. I'm signed up for my own race. But here's the thing. I'm not the race director. My wife is the race director. So she's going to have that down. We're going to have staff there, a lot of help. And I've never done a Backyard Ultra. So I want to go ahead and do that Backyard Ultra. And also like from a customer experience, like I also want to experience our race and, be the customer. Like how awesome is it to find customer feedback by just being your own customer? And I think just being out there with the Everyday Ultra community will be great. So that's what I have currently signed up. But here's my plan. My plan is like to start getting training in October, because that will give me basically October, November, December, January. That gives me like 4 solid months to start to prepare. If I can be in a good shape to put in like 4 solid months of some good building, I think it could be ready to have a really good day out there too. If I get to October and I'm still feeling like not good, still feeling like crap, then yeah, I might find a different race and then just ultimately just be there to support at our race. I have some other like options of what I'm thinking. Like I might do Canyons 100 miler in April. I might do UTMB. I might, throw my hat in the ring for something in July. Who knows? I do want to do a 100 miler. I know what I want to do. I just don't know which one. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I would go back to Badwater, but I'm currently committed to Cruise Someone if they get in next year. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a lot of wait and see kind of stuff. I don't really like to be in a place where I don't really know what's next, but I think at least having the option of a Backyard Ultra in February is very nice. So that's the plan. And I'm not trying to rush it. I'm not trying to I'm giving myself the hard line to probably not start hard training really until that first week of October, and then just kind of like go from there too. So, what's to come from this YouTube channel? Well, I'll keep adding value and videos on this for sure. And like we're highlighting other coaches and their training journey as well. So we'll still be here for sure. But as much as I want to be the David Goggins and just saying, continue to carry the boats and staying hard, I think this is the period to really just recover and set myself up for a good season next year, because that's the biggest thing that I want. And next season is going to be very important for me because me and my wife are going to try to have kids, and this will be kind of a big season where I can really kind of go all in and do this thing. So and not to say I can't do this thing with obviously like young kids, but I also want to be there as much as I can for my upcoming son or daughter, whatever that might be, and I want to make the most out of the next training block, for sure. So anyways, that's what I got for y'all today. Well, actually, maybe we'll go to the doctor for the ultrasound and see what happens. So this isn't done yet. We're going to go to the doctor in a bit. So head out here in about 20 minutes or so. So make it happen. All right, just got back from the doctor's office and ultrasound went really good. No glaring issues. They're still going to take it to the testing to, go through the diagnosis of everything, but everything sounded like it was normal, which is good and nothing too alarming. The other kind of snag though is I have to wear this freaking heart rate monitor like every day for 6 days or 7 days. Also, you just got a free shot of this, so I'm not charging. But anyways, that's gonna be interesting because I am doing the 50-mile group run with everybody in the Everyday Ultra community this Saturday in St. Augustine. So it will be interesting to see how this thing holds up. It is not subtle, but it is what it is. We're getting the good data on here, and that's what this whole phase is about. So all good news. It's just going to take some time. And my biggest suggestion to anybody who is, in a place where, you're going through post-race and you're recovering is just give it time. Give it time. Don't overforce it. Find other hobbies to get your mind off of it. Still run where you can, but be kind to your body throughout the process. And you do that, eventually you'll be in a good spot. And sometimes you need to take these macro pullbacks, which is like what I'm doing right now before we, rip into next season. And that's okay. It's going to be all okay. So anyways, next video, we're going to take you through on this amazing group run that we're doing in Florida, 50 miles. A lot of people are just like hopping in and out here and there too, but we have over 100 people signed up for it. It's going to be in St. Augustine, Florida. It's going to be hot. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be so fun. And we're going to take you along the ride for it. And we hope to see it at one of our group runs or races that we have here at Everyday Ultra, which you can check out at theeverydayultra.com if you'd like to join for any of those. And we'd love to see you there. So anyways, my friends, thanks for watching. Endure better, and we will be back real soon.